I'm sorry, did Canada just win gold in TD Garden and then the Leafs just rattled off 3 straight? 3 wins in 4 nights, including a 3-goal comeback in Boston? Difficult to keep track of what you were saying through the volume, but yes, yeah, that is all true. I don't want to go to bed. You should probably go to bed. Why would I? All my dreams are right here. Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, Puppy Ziggy! Hey, how big of a lead did the Boston Bruins blow? A 1-goal lead? Oh, he dropped that one. But that's okay, because it wasn't the answer. Was it a 2-goal lead? He got that one, but that wasn't the answer. Was it a 3? Oh, dear. I tried to get fancy. You know what? Don't get fancy. I'm going to get fancy. They blew a 3-goal lead, Iggy! Yeah! Oh, 3-goal lead in Boston. That's tough. Been there, I get it. Mitch Marner cooking my team in overtime. Couldn't be me. Leafs win! 5-4 in overtime in Boston over the Bruins. Let's talk about that game now while it feels good, while it's fresh. But first, cheeky transition. Start the year off right with HelloFresh, your go-to for cozy homemade meals that are quick, easy, and budget friendly. With fresh seasonal ingredients delivered to your door, you can enjoy comforting dishes without having to deal with the hassle or the high cost of dining out. From 20-minute meals to hearty winter favorites, HelloFresh makes cooking at home simple and satisfying. Stay warm with fresh ingredients and cozy flavors that make every meal feel special. Skip the grocery store and plan your weekly meals with just a few clicks. With HelloFresh, everything you need is delivered straight to your door, making it easier than ever to kick off a fresh start for the new year. It's so easy! Check out this chicken stir fry I cooked up at the SDPN offices. It's got veggies, peanuts, even oyster sauce. So easy! All I did was follow the step-by-step process. And then I got to the end of it, of course, with the beautiful peanut garnish from the heavens. The offer is for new and returning subscribers who have been canceled for more than 270 days. That's 20 free meals, plus free sides for life at HelloFresh.ca with the code DANGLE. Thanks, me. That was great. Hey, what does that meal and the Bruins have in common? They both got cooked at home! Any Bruins fans watching this, you have to understand why I'm relishing this, right? I don't have to justify words. I don't have to justify myself to you. Years and years of trauma. The Pastrnak goal happened, well, it happened tonight a couple times, but it happened less than a year ago. Listen, I'll give you an idea of how unexpected that Leaf win was. I don't know if you could hear it in the States, but the Canadian broadcast with Gord Miller, he talked about the Leafs trying to pull off some mask and gun stuff. That's how much of a robbery this game was. We're shipping out of Boston with 2 points. Don't look at me like that. I'll run around in pajamas if I want. It's my house. Listen, instead of breaking down all 9 goals to this game, because that might take some time, that was awful. Like, I would pick one thing to criticize about the Leafs being down 3-0 if the thing that I wanted to criticize wasn't everything. They got outshot. They got outchanced. They got outscored. They got out everything. Now, some of it was some special stuff from the Bruins, to be fair. I mean, Mason Lohrei, less than 30 seconds in, what a missile up the ice to David Pastrnak. And it's David Pastrnak. Any David Pasternaks. So, okay, that's bad and early, and it's okay, that's bad. That guy looked hurt. Who was that? It was Chris Tanev. That was Chris Tanev, okay. Is he coming back? He's not back yet? We'll check at intermission. Was that? We gave him a power play? They got a power play. Oh, save! Leafs are playing well! Did that hit Jake McCabe in the face? It did, and then it went in. Okay. So very early on, the Leafs are losing not just because they're bad, but because the hockey gods hate them. You know, it's tricky. Some nights you're bad. Some nights the hockey gods hate you. And it's rare when on those nights you win anyway. That Morgan Geekie goal to put the Leafs down 3-0 on the power play happened at the 10-minute mark of the second period. Exactly halfway through regulation. That's when the Leafs went down 3-0. In Boston, that's not a winnable game. It's just not the way you're playing. Ew. But here's the thing. Did Chris Tanev come back for the second period? He did not. And in fact, he was seen leaving the building in a sling. I'm gonna cry. But here's what the Boston Bruins are dealing with. Remember how the Leafs had a really hard time scoring on the Bruins in the playoffs? A lot of that was Jeremy Swayman being very good. A lot of that was the Leafs not doing the things they needed to do to score on Jeremy Swayman, like going to the net! But a big reason why the Leafs weren't able to do those things is the stellar play of Charlie McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm, neither of whom were in this game. And it doesn't sound like McAvoy or Lindholm will be in the lineup for quite some time for the Bruins. So now here they are. For the foreseeable future, a win puts them in a playoff spot and a loss kicks them out. They have no margin, and they got to somehow do it without their top pair. Listen, I was mad at the Leafs. I was mad. I don't like when they're down 3-0. I definitely don't like when they're down 3-0 against Boston, and I definitely don't like when they're down 3-0 against Boston in Boston. But there was a little part of me that was like, they're hurting too. Hey, what was that thing that I said the Leafs needed to do in order to get goals? Oh, that's right. Go to the net! Oh man, but they're not big enough. They don't have the meats. They're not big and mean enough, you know? Oh, darn, you're right. Anyway, here's 5'9", 178-pound Nick Robertson basically being solely responsible for this goal. Well, maybe not solely responsible. He didn't get a point on the play, but he's the reason it went in. Nick Robertson in a net front battle. Morgan Rielly puts it on. Guess what? It goes off the Bruins defender who has to deal with Robertson. That was the Leafs' 5th last game before the trade deadline, meaning they only have 4 games left until the trade deadline. And Nick Robertson is still here. And that NHL game, as a guy who's watched his whole career, I'm going to confidently say that was the best game of his career. At minimum, this is the best pair of back-to-back games that Nick Robertson has had in his career. He got the belt last game after scoring 2 goals. But just on our checklist, he went to the net on this one. That's why it went in. Leafs are finally on the board. Check. We go to intermission, and guess what? The Leafs have a power play to start the third. We're in the first minute. Good things are happening. Kind of feeling a little bit like they have to score here. Or they did. Once again, it's a player who doesn't end up touching the puck, doesn't get a point on the play that was instrumental in this goal happening. John Tavares sends it to Mitch Marner. Part of the reason he's able to do that is Matthews with his stick work, helping to make sure that puck gets onto Marner's stick. And he's handling it, he's looking for someone to pass to. Should I give it to that guy? Should I give it to that guy? Just anyone wearing white. I'm looking to give it to anyone wearing white. Hey, a suggestion. You know who's wearing white? The back of the net! Mitch Marner with the handles, the shot, and the goal! Buddy, I saw overtime against Sweden. Shoot that thing! His 17th of the season on the power play, a minute into the third period, brings the Leafs to within 1. Oh, baby. Now, under 6 minutes later, this is spectacular stuff. Anthony Stolarz finds a way to get it to Morgan Rielly. Good. If you're a goaltender, pass it. Morgan Rielly with a missile up the ice. This is a great pass, and Morgan Rielly had one of his better games of the season, I thought, as well. Nick Robertson receives it on the backhand. Do you want to see how confident this guy is in his shot? This went in, dude! This went in! Dude, flying down the left wing. The dude just rips it, reminiscent of his goal earlier this season when he scored against Andrei Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky and Swayman are 2 pretty decent goalies, eh? For this guy who had so much trouble getting in the lineup and still at times has trouble staying in the lineup, back-to-back double-digit goal seasons for Nick Robertson. That's his 11th. And, more importantly, the game's tied! Now, 4 minutes later, something really unfortunate happened. We don't need any screenshots, and we don't need to go into depth because the Leafs won, and I'm in a good mood. But Jake McCabe did a bad thing because David Pastrnak scores to make it 4-3 for the Bruins, and that was his 30th goal of the year. Problem I have is on the website it says unassisted. Not true. Jake McCabe gave it right to you. And I don't want to go at him. He's playing a tricky position. He's playing a lot tonight. He's having to play the offside, and he doesn't have his D partner. And oh boy, was that bad, dude. What are you thinking? I said I wouldn't. I said and I'm not. Because less than a minute to go in the third. Here's what's wild about this whole sequence. The Leafs really, I thought, controlled the third period, and they just made one big gaffe. So even though they tied it, even though they were playing great, they find themselves down, and they're at risk of giving Boston 2 points and them getting none. No! Well, the Bruins do a good job holding Anthony Stolarz in his own net. Anthony Stolarz, by the way, who, as games go where a goalie gives up 4 goals, this was spectacular. He was credited with an assist on the Robertson goal, too. Just ridiculous. Anyway, Bruins do a really good job keeping Stolarz in his net. They do a really good job managing the Leafs bench. Like, Marner was out there forever. Matthews was out there forever. Their big guys were out there forever. Where's Willie? It was so chaotic in the final couple minutes, I didn't even really realize Willie was gone. And then Nick Robertson is out there, and I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. He's having a great game, good offensive player. He scored. Yeah, reward him. Matthew Nyes is out there. I like Matthew Nyes. That's good. And like a bat out of Sweden, here comes Pontus Holmberg. Dude, there were times this season where this would have seemed unfathomable. Robertson to Holmberg. In an attempt to score on a goalie, Holmberg kicks the puck to himself and shovels it in! Pontus cannot be stopped! Goals in 3 straight games, and that was his first goal against a goalie. He got 2 empty netters. He got credited with a goal on an own goal, and finally he shoveled this one past the goalie. But most important of all, the Leafs have tied it! Robertson with a goal and an assist in the game, back-to-back multi-point games for the kid, after a 9-game pointless skid, bet that feels good. And Pontus Holmberg extends his own 3-game point streak. 5 points in those 3 games. By the way, before scoring 4 goals in a 3-game span in late February, Pontus Holmberg's last goal was against the New Jersey Devils on December 10th. Actually just went back to check and see if it was an empty netter to make a joke. Sorry, what I meant to say was short-handed goal to tie the game. Okay, but that was his first goal since November 20th against Vegas, and that was an empty netter. So that's Holmberg's 6th goal of the season. Half of them are empty netters. One was an own goal scored by Jordan Staal. Short-handed goal. So congrats to Pontus Holmberg for his first even strength goal of the year on a goalie. Dude, I'm laughing like I'm in jest right now. This guy's awesome. I still don't know what to make of him. Like, put both hands on your stick, man. I have gotta wonder what the Leafs think of him heading down the stretch and into the playoffs. Anyway, we head into overtime. Now the absence of William Nylander is a thing, because he's kind of pretty good at this. Dude, I gotta say, like, we've been giving our shine to, like, Robertson had a great game. Holmberg had a great game. I already talked about Riley having a great game. Mitch Marner conducted that overtime. Conducted the whole thing. He practically coached the team. He was telling them what to do. He even conducted a couple of the line changes. And then down to the last play, this is great from all involved. First of all, Anthony Stolarz gets absolutely trucked. Didn't like that. Would have been very interesting if the Bruins had scored. He doesn't have a stick. Here's the great part. Didn't need one. There's a puck battle. Morgan Riley hits it out of air. And then he sees it in front of him. He sees Matthews. He sees Marner. He sees an opportunity. He sees a chance to end the game, so he dives and hits the puck. Puck in the neutral zone. Matthews just chops at it. This might have been the greatest manifestation of you can't give a good player a bad pass I've ever seen. Marner, like, toyed with his food. He settled it down, but he did it with, like, stink. And then, ew, gross, yuck. Mitch Marner, 2-goal game, and all of a sudden, he's Mr. TD Garden. Dude, at minimum, he's Mr. Overtime. Dude, Marner's last 3 overtimes, he scored the overtime winner in Montreal for Canada over Sweden, set up the overtime winner, the tournament winner in Boston for Canada over the US, and then scored the OT winner in Boston to cap off a massive comeback. This dude is feeling himself, and he should, because he's sick. Been saying it all season long. Allow me to repeat myself. This is the best Mitch Marner we've ever seen. The best version of him, bar none. This game from the Leafs wasn't the Mona Lisa, but I like other paintings too. They got 2 points. That's silly. That's really dumb. I love that. What does Berube say to these guys? He fires them up when they need it. Yeah, no, I've already covered this earlier this season. I think Craig Berube just stares at the Leafs in their dressing room while old highlights of his fights play in the background.
Berube drops the gloves and, oh my goodness, every bone in his opponent's body is broken nearly immediately. It's like he's flailing on a bag of milk.
Craig Berube could say nothing, and I would still listen. A question from Blue Sky. Do you manually post to both platforms? Yes, I do, because I love you. Please follow me on Blue Sky. Are you ready to run through a wall after that win? Brother, after the 4-nation face-off, my house is running out of walls. We'll end on this one. Did Mitch leave Austin hanging after the game-winning goal? He did not. In fact, check this out. The Leafs posted this on Instagram. Both Austin and Mitch are just so proud of their enormous and older son, Anthony Stolarz, who Stolarz them the game and 2 points. Anthony Stolarz' performance was so incredible that the fans in TD Garden were chanting for him before the game was even finished. They were going, USA, USA, because they know he's from there. And then after the game, they didn't gather to celebrate the win. They gathered to be like, well, wait a sec, which one of us was that for? Matthew Nyes is like, I don't think it was for me. Austin, was it for you? You're the captain of the team. No, it wasn't me. I think it was for Anthony Stollers, but it could have been any of a number of the great Americans on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's just class and sportsmanship. Hats off to Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Listen to the Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow, folks. We got some things to talk about.